Give yourselves a hand for being here and being the guardians of a great legacy in the labor movement. Give yourselves a hand. Let me set the stage for my reports. If it was Sunday morning and I was at Second Baptist Church, I would say, take out your Bibles and open them to the book of Genesis, where you will find the words, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Or I might say, turn to the Gospel of John, where you will find these words, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. But it ain't Sunday morning. So I'm just going to ask you to prepare to receive this report. You take yourself back to your CBTU beginning. Remember, if you will, that first time you went to a CBTU meeting, the first CBTU convention you came to. Remember that feeling of seeing so many black folks that had their stuff together and was dealing with real issues affecting our people. Remember how you felt at that very moment, the pride you felt, the hope you felt, the energy you mustered up within yourself, the moment you decided to join this great organization and movement to stand up for what is just and what is right. I need you to hold on to that feeling, hold on to that thought as I share my insights as where we are as an organization and where we need to go from here. 2 years ago, when we met in St. Louis, I vowed that CBTU was going to help re-elect President Barack Obama. Well, in spite of that, the despicable, well-financed efforts to suppress black turnout on Election Day, the President and the First Lady and their family are still the occupants in the White House. And Democrats still have control of the Senate for now. Many of you in this room and many more back home went the extra mile on behalf of Democrats and President Obama, right? You put on your walking shoes on and handed out leaflets, knocked on doors to register new voters, and even drove voters to the polls, right? And you trumped the Koch brothers and their political puppets, right? But let's understand this clearly. Wealth and power and racism surrendered absolutely nothing in the 2012 elections. The top 1% has accumulated even more wealth and income. American workers are producing more goods and services, but earning less and less. 50% of the unemployed black workers have been out of work for more than 6 months, a dangerous indicator of the depth of the jobless crisis that grips black America, even as the economy rebounds. The Supreme Court, once the last hope for racial justice, has become the friend of the greedy and the enemy of the needy. This is what injustice looks like in 2014. This is inequality in 2014. And this is what will be our biggest challenge in the midterm elections in November. Lifting up working class voters whose wages are falling and their dreams are fading faster, to believe they can elect men and women who will consistently fight for better future for the 99%. Now, let me be clear about this. I want to be clear with everybody about this. I'm not asking anybody to go vote for somebody because of the initial behind their names. I don't care if it's a Democrat or a Republican. If they are doing things that are against labor, don't vote for them. I don't care if you're in the United States or Canada. If they are setting the stage against workers' rights wherever they are, we ought to send them home. Without the name of Obama on the ballot, and a lot of black folks might not get excited about their choices in November. You know how we do. And any excuse would do. Blame it on the voter ID laws. Blame it on a fewer days to vote early. Blame it on transportation issues. I bet you we can get anywhere we want to get, but to the poll. You want to get your hair done, you can get it done. You want to get that weave put in, you don't have a problem. You're going to pay for them braids, and I know how much them braids cost. But I can't pay for a cab to take me down to vote. We better find ways to overcome the apathy and real election hurdles. I need to tell us as a people that we can't accept people coming up with excuses. Excuses, I was told, ain't nothing but a dressed up lie. That's all it is. It's a dressed up lie. You can make excuses for whatever you don't want to do, but if it's the same thing that you want to do, you can figure out how to get over whatever obstacle that was stopping you before. Don't use no dressed up lie, and don't let nobody in your family use no dressed up lie. We talked earlier about Amnesty International was here, and Dwight gonna kill me because I ain't talking about nothing on this paper. Just here talking about how many people in our family got somebody that had a problem with gun violence, been hurt in gun violence, or you know somebody. Almost everybody in the room raised their hand. Well, the only way you're going to change these laws is elect people in the office that believe like you believe. And we've got to get that message out to our people. It's not enough just to talk about it when we come together. That's called preaching to the choir. We got to take the message out into the highways and the byways. We got to go to our neighbor. We got to go knock on our neighbor's door that we don't know no more. I mean, when I was growing up, we knew all the neighbors. We knew everybody on the street. How do I know that? Because they all whooped me when I did something wrong on my way home. And then they had the nerve after they done beat you, when they found you doing something, they done called home and you got another beating ready for you when you got home. I know the neighbors back then. But right now, we don't even know who living right next door to us. We need to remind our disgruntled, apathetic friends, co-workers, and family members that they're not happy with all President Obama has done so far. They should consider how much worse it would be if the Republicans gained control of both the House and the Senate and win more governorships and dominate more state legislatures. See, that's where we made our mistake in 2010. We so hyped up about the federal stuff, we didn't worry about the state stuff. We just stayed home. Obama in the White House. We ain't got nothing else to do. He gonna take care of us. See, you got to understand, can't no one person change everything that's been done in this country for over 200 years. And the president only has so much power. You got to understand how this government works. There's a division of powers. The president can't make the laws. Congress got to pass the laws. He just signed them. You got to understand what his responsibility and what his accountability, what he can and cannot do. We can't hold him accountable for those in the Senate that's just saying no to everything that comes up. The night he was elected, Mitch McConnell, I think it was Mitch McConnell, said his only job is to make sure he's not a second-term president. So what did he do? He just said no to everything, and we sit back, he ain't did nothing for me. But watch this. This is how this political thing works in America. Join America. I don't know where y'all been. But in America, those that want something push politicians to do what they want them to do. Whether they're your friend or whether they're your foe, they push them to do. See, when you went home and put your feet on the couch and said he got it all covered, they were still pushing him to do what they wanted him to do. He was not hearing from you, so he just did what he thought was best. And we hold him accountable when he didn't know what you was looking for. CBTU chapters in battleground states will play a huge role this year in helping to produce high turnouts this year. But I'm here to tell you, hardship for low-income families ain't a statistic. It's real, everyday real, folks. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, the owners of the big office buildings and the fast food chains, you know, the McDonald's, the Burger King, the that other W that I can't even say. I don't know how y'all can say it, but that one. They rake it in billions. They're raking in billions in profits from exploiting low-wage employees. I mean, I saw a study where they said for Walmart to just raise the wages of their workers to a livable wage and just to give them decent health care and decent benefits, it would only have to only put like so many cents on that cheap stuff they selling y'all every day. Just so many cents. Because all y'all gonna stand before me and say, Terry, I don't go to Walmart. I don't know what you're talking about. Never been in there. What the store look like? What the blue light, what? Sad to say, many in this room, many of us that our parents and our foreparents have went through slavery in this country. And I tell my family when I meet with them, they say, but the stuff is cheaper there. I said, and cotton was cheaper when we had slaves picking it out the field. So you can't leave it there. You can't leave that undone. Yeah, it might be cheaper, but at what cost is it cheaper? We lost people coming across the Atlantic Ocean because they wanted something cheaper. We lost people in slavery because they wanted something cheaper. How can we now stand up as a black people in this country and say it's okay that it's cheaper? I'm going to go buy it. Y'all got the camera on all of them that didn't clap. And the ones I'm going to find at Walmart. I joke, but I'm serious as cancer about this. Ain't none of us. You know the worst thing for me is when I see somebody that's a union activist driving a foreign vehicle. When I pull up into a union parking lot and I see a foreign vehicle, I mean, I want to key it. I want to poke holes in the tire. But most of all, I want to find out who drove it. Because I got a few unholy words for them. We got to start walking the walk that we talking. We can't just keep talking about this stuff. I mean, we come here every year and we talk about Walmart. We talk about Buy American and we going out spending it because it's cheaper going buying other stuff. You got to set the standard. But let me close by saying that I feel optimistic about CBTU's future and how we will respond to the challenges before us. This is our time to join hands, raise our voices, and to start to build a genuine progressive wing inside the labor movement. One that has been sustained, one that can be sustained beyond the next election or the next attack on our rights. See, what I'm talking about is not something just for a year, not something just for a season. I'm talking about building on the legacy that has been laid down for us. Building on the 43 years of the Bill Lucys and the Bill Simons that went on before us and are still here with us, to build upon that, to take it to a higher level. I'm talking about not just a seasonal thing, but something that's going to be lasting. I believe in my heart that in this ballroom, those of you that are left, and in the cities across this country, there are men and women who are ready to seize this moment, ready to shape new strategies and accept the responsibilities of being an active CBTU member and leader, ready to enrich a great legacy created by CBTU pioneers who stepped up to the plate and risked their careers to start and sustain this organization. Folks like Nelson Jack Edwards, Cleve Roberts, Charlie Hayes, Bill Simons, Horace Sheffield, Oliver Montgomery, Addie Wyatt, Geraldine Johnson. Every time I say her name, I think of her cussing me out, somebody out. And many, many more who have made it possible for me and you to be here today. It is time for CBTU to get young again, but with the wisdom of 43 years of struggle to build upon to have success. I sincerely hope when you leave this convention that you are more energized and ready to work than you've ever been before. The question I have with you is, will you join me in this struggle? See, I know working together, it shall come to pass. Will you stand with me to be all that we can be as CBTU, to ensure quality health care for all, good, sustainable, livable wage for all? Will you stand with me for quality public education? Will you stand with me for fair elections for all? Will you stand with me for a strong progressive labor movement? Will you stand with me for a strong, viable, and self-sustaining CBTU? This is our new beginning. This is our time, and this is our season. Let's move forward, CBTU. Let's lift it higher and higher and higher. God bless you.